Yo, welcome to PTA Sports. I am your host, Pest the Analyst, and the 2020 draft has officially come and gone. And let me tell you, there's some of y'all that are on Twitter right now, some of y'all losing your minds, a good amount of y'all are really happy, right? And then there's some people that are in between. I'm not surprised, all right? I'm not surprised at the reaction of Giants Nation across social media. But listen, this draft that we just had, right? If you are not happy with this draft that we just had, then I don't know what to tell you, yo. Like, real talk, because this draft, honestly, was fantastic, all right? We went into this draft with a lot of holes, right? We all knew that we had a lot of holes to fill in this draft, and it's true, we didn't fill all of our holes, right? We still got holes across this team right now. But man, if this draft does not help us take the steps forward that are necessary for us to be competitive in the future, then, seriously, this draft was great, all right? I don't want to quite go pick by pick because that would force this video to be way longer than I wanted to be. But listen, just a quick recap, all right? We took Andrew Thomas. We took Xavier McKinney. We took Matt Perth. We took Darnay Holmes. We took Shane Lemieux, Cameron Brown, Carter Coughlin, TJ Brunson, Chris Williamson, and Tay Crowder. All right? Those were our picks. That's actually quite a few players, man. Listen, this is what really needs to be focused on when it comes to this draft, all right? What needs to be focused on, really, like realistically, all right, is, our first three picks, yo. Our first three picks, based off of the research that I've done and what I've looked at, like, our first three picks are legitimate top 45 players in the entire draft, all right? You can't beat that. You can't beat getting potential starters in your first, second, and third round, especially being that we picked number 99 in the third round, all right? But, we killed it, okay? Now, I already did my video on Andrew Thomas, right? I already said pretty much what I had to say about him, in the moment. When I reflect back on the pick, I'm even happier, okay? Because, for a long time, Andrew Thomas was OT1. And obviously he fell off the board because there was something new and shiny and pretty and people were talking about it. But even if, let's just say hypothetically, right? Let's just say hypothetically that Andrew Thomas isn't OT1. He's OT2 or he's OT3, right? Which he's not. I don't think he's OT3. I'd be willing to listen if somebody said, I think he's OT2 because this one guy has a better ceiling or whatever the case may be. Yo, Andrew Thomas is a beast. He is a beast left tackle, all right? I went back, I watched some film on him, okay? I really, really love his footwork, okay? He's got good bend. He keeps his hat low. The only thing, and I really hope that Mark Colombo fixes this, the only thing that I don't like about him right now from a standpoint of a coach, I don't like his hand placement. I don't like that he does that wide clamp that everybody's doing right now. I don't like it. I like for your elbows to be in and for your hands to shoot up, hit him inside, and control the defender, okay? But that's a very small problem that can really, really be fixed, all right? And then Xavier McKinney falling to us in a second, that's crazy, yo. That is crazy. So for all of y'all that was crying and complaining about the fact that we didn't get oh my God, I'm brain farting his name. I cannot believe that I'm brain farting his name. Simmons. For all of those who were mad that we didn't pick up Simmons, I'm drinking your fucking tears right now. Straight up. Yeah, because McKinney is just as much as a beast as Simmons is. All right? He was talked about like he could potentially be the best safety in the draft. So it was a toss-up between him and Isaiah Simmons. All right. So we still came away with our safety. So all y'all that was crying and complaining about it on day one of the draft, y'all need to chill out because there was still a lot of moves to be made. All right. Matt Perth, listen. I've done a little bit of research on him. I'm still gotta watch some more film on him, all right, and see about this guy. But yo, this is another one of those tackles in this draft class that he was kind of a sleeper. A lot of people weren't really talking about him that much, right? I mean, because he plays at Connecticut. Not everybody's watching a whole bunch of Connecticut, right? But like, from what I've seen so far and what I've heard from people who are smarter than me when it comes to this kid is potentially going to be a monster. So we may have potentially got a starting left tackle and a starting right tackle, all right? Think about that for a second. Think about if we have potentially got two tackles, that's two positions on the offensive line that we don't have to worry about that are currently fixed, all right? Just think about that for a second, y'all. So yeah, is it not sexy? Is it not a sexy set of picks to grab two offensive tackles within your first three picks? No, it's not sexy, but it can be effective, all right? We've been complaining about this offensive line, and now we have two guys who could potentially be our starters for like 10, 15 years. Imagine that. Imagine if we don't have to worry about our offensive tackle play for the next 10 to 15 years. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I'm not saying it's absolutely going to happen. But what I am saying is that the potential is there for us to have our two tackles for 10 to 15 years and not have to worry about it. Daniel Jones is getting hit from his blind side. Daniel Jones is getting strip sacked. Daniel Jones isn't uncomfortable in the pocket. Well, maybe he's too comfortable in the pocket, and that's why he keeps getting strip sacked. But he can remain as comfortable in the pocket as he is because nobody's going to come around on the edge and get him, all right? And then Darnay Holmes, when we picked Darnay Holmes, I was kind of like, another corner? We need another corner? But you know what? Cool. I'm not mad about it because listen, if we can continue to improve our secondary, right, maybe we start getting coverage sacks. I know we don't have a guy right now that's like, we know this guy's going to get us 10 plus sacks, all right? But hey, if we got a beast secondary, if you got a beast-ass secondary, the sack's gonna come, all right? The last pick that I'm gonna specifically talk about is Shane Lemieux. I hope I'm saying his name right. Shane Lemieux. He's the guard from Oregon. Yo, Christy Entertainer brought up a really good point on the Fireside Giants podcast, right? Apparently we was talking to Justin Herbert, right, throughout the draft process. And he was like, hey, maybe we was talking to him because we were interested in this guard. You know what? Great point, Chris. And whichever one of your followers, brought that point up to you, hey, good on you, man. Because, yo, it's fair. It is fair. We didn't have a whole lot of time to meet with these players. So we went and we talked to the quarterback and said, hey, man, who's your best lineman? And maybe he said, Shane. Shane's the truth. So now we got a guard who can play on either side, left or right, okay? So now we have depth at the guard position. But this dude has apparently been practicing being a center. So maybe this guy can be our center. Who knows? But even if he can't, all right, Zeitler is 30 years old. I'm not saying Zeitler is done. I'm not saying that Zeitler is washed, but Zeitler is 30 years old, all right? So maybe we only got one more season with him. Maybe. And we paying him a buttload of money. So when Zeitler is no longer, I don't want to say useful because he's probably going to still be useful, but when that cap hit is too much for us to take on, well, we got a guy who could potentially be just as good eventually, not saying right off the bat, but eventually, and he's cheaper. Yo, this draft set us up for the future. Is this draft going to cause us to win a Super Bowl this year? Hell to the nah. And if you're going into this season thinking Super Bowl, baby, you're wrong and you're going to be disappointed. We are still rebuilding this team, okay? But we have got some key pieces right now that we can use and not have to worry about next year when we go into free agency, next year when we go into our draft, because we're slowly building the pieces that are necessary for our team to be successful. So while there are some people who are on social media who are mad as hell that we didn't grab a single edge rusher aside from some late round guys, right? I can understand why you're frustrated. I can understand why you're mad, because we need somebody to get to the quarterback. I get it, man. I'm a trenches guy. I love the trenches, so I understand. But yo, we are putting ourselves in a position where we do not have to worry about these key positions in the future. And then we can go make some of those sexier picks. But if I'm telling you, yo, if we walk away from this draft with 2 starting caliber offensive tackles, a guard who could potentially be a center or maybe be a guard for the future, right? A safety who is going to allow us to maybe cover a couple of tight ends here and there, maybe get some interceptions, maybe open that up that umbrella and keep everything in front of them. Imagine what we can do next season. Imagine the moves that we can make to put ourselves in a position to be competitive. I have been saying this since I started this damn channel. We are rebuilding. It is going to take us a while. I keep hearing all these Giant fans that are jealous of these other teams, right? That are being competitive. Oh, well, the 49ers, they went to the Super Bowl and they sucked a couple of years ago. Oh, we want to be like the Patriots. Oh, we want to be like, yo, all these teams that are at the top of their game spent years building the core of their roster. All of these teams who are always in the playoffs or going to the Super Bowl or winning championships, they all have key pieces. I'm so sorry that we couldn't get CeeDee Lamb, right? But the Cowboys are in a position to where they can make that sexy ass pick because they have their entire offensive line. They have their secondary, kinda, sorta. They got good ass linebackers. Their linebacker core is beast mode. They got a good running back. They got a good wide receiver. They got a couple of good wide receivers because you got Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup there. All right. So I'm sorry that we couldn't go out and pick the sexy guy that's going to be, out of control. All right, I'm sorry. I know y'all wanted Chase Young. We didn't get Chase Young. Chase Young went to the Redskins. Let's see if the Redskins are even competitive. All right, let's see. Let's see if they're even competitive, because they might not be. So all y'all that are flipping out because we didn't get the person you wanted, the position group that you wanted, chill the fuck out, yo. We're finally starting to put the pieces together. And in order for us to put the pieces together, we have to not be sexy for a little bit. All right? I know everybody here knows a guy or a girl that's fine than a motherfucker that was funny looking in school. And you wouldn't give them the time of day. And they grew and they developed and they matured and they got fit, or they went and they got their hair fixed, or they went and got some contact lenses, or they went and they did something and now they fine as fuck, and you're like, damn, if I would have known then, I would have hollered at you then. Well, that's the Giants right now, yo. The Giants is the frumpy motherfucker, right? That could potentially be sexy later. So y'all got to be patient. This draft was amazing. All right? I'm telling y'all, this draft was amazing. Now, is it going to translate to us getting 10 wins this upcoming season? Probably not. We may only win 6, 7, 8 games. That's a reality. That's a reality we all have to face. But I'm telling you right now, a couple of years from now, we're going to look back at this draft right here that just happened, 2020, and we're going to be like, man, I tell you what, 2020 sucked ass, man. We couldn't leave the house. We had to wear masks. We had to wash our hands. But boy, I tell you what, that was the year. That was the year that the Giants put themselves in a position to be where they are now. So everybody relax. Or don't. And be angry. and be bitter and jump up on Twitter and say that everything sucks. People are going to ignore you anyway. Actually, they're not, because people always seem to pay attention to the negative shit on Twitter or Facebook or all these social medias. But I mean, yo, be the miserable one. I'm gonna be here. Just being patient. Does that mean that I'm not going to get in front of this microphone and yell and scream when the Giants get the shit kicked out of them sometimes this upcoming season? I mean, yeah, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to yell and scream when the Giants get the shit kicked out of them. Because I'm going to be frustrated because I'm a fan and I love my team and I want them to win. But that's going to be probably for entertainment only. That's going to be for entertainment only. So Giants fans, Giants Nation, hey, just settle down, guys. Things are looking up. They really are. It's going to take a minute. Be patient. And we're going to go from there. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to get out of here, but I will be starting to put together here soon kind of an overview of the entire offseason. I took a little bit of time off. Things got a little hectic around me, and I had to just get all that stuff together. But I will be here. I will be involved throughout this process and up to the season. I don't know how the season's going to go down. We're going to figure it out. But I'm going to be around, all right? So I was going for a minute, but I'm back now. Hey, listen, I hope everybody is safe, all right? I hope everybody is healthy. Wash your hands. Throw that mask on. Social distancing. 6 feet. Hit him with the Heisman, all right? Everybody be safe, and I'll get up with you guys later. Deuces.